Thank you so much. We are so excited that you're on here and talking with us. We had so much fun going over your resume of everything that you've done. We are such
Hmm.
big fans of
Oh,
so many of the shows that you've been a part of.
oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We were saying you are one of the rare born and raised in right here in LA.
Hmm.
I know, and also not only that, I'm second generation because my mom was born and raised in LA. So yeah, there's not a lot of us. There's not a lot
No.
of us, I think, like in the industry. I think
Hmm.
people come here with their dreams and but like I know a lot of people from here because I grew up here, but most of them are not like in the business at all.
Mm.
Like,
Hmm.
and nobody in my family except for me ever wanted to do this.
Oh,
No,
really?
no, you know what? That's kind of not true. My mom told me, I get this probably from my mom, but my mom told me that when she was a kid, she used to like have dreams of being like a movie star and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of her wanting to do this, but no, yeah, nobody in my family. Like I'm such a freak in my family.
Hey, you
Did
stand
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Did that make
that's
it
it.
did that make it hard for you at all to pursue this? Because like did you have the type of situation where people were like, "What? That's not a real job. How could you, that kind of
Yeah.
impact on you?"
Well, the truth is because I think so much of it, I mean, a lot of it was tied into me being gay and like at a time where like it wasn't like I just always wanted to be an actor. Like I always like I can remember being honestly like in fourth grade and thinking I should have done a play by now. I remember having that thought in fourth grade, and like I think at probably at that time was I just needed to somehow express myself. And
Hmm.
so being an actor maybe came from that, and then you kind of like developed a love for doing this and the art for it. I guess to sound pretentious, but it is true. And so like, yeah, I was like coming out, so to speak, as an actor to my family, like telling them this is what I wanted to do was kind of a first step to coming out in
Oh.
general as a
Mm.
gay person. I didn't know it, but it felt scary and it felt like I was going to be like, this is not what my parents wanted me to. They wanted me to be like typical Jewish thing, doctor or lawyer. That's what they wanted me
Okay.
to be. And
Hmm.
so, but I was like, and they weren't thrilled about it, but they weren't telling me not to do it. And by that point, I was in college,
Mm.
so they were like, okay, probably they were. I mean, so much sounds like gay because I was like, they probably thought I was going to outgrow it, but but I didn't. And they used to there was when I had to move back home. I was in college and then I had to move back home for a little bit when I was like 19 or 20, and I was starting to take an acting class while I was going to college. And my I would come home sometimes and find articles that my parents would clip out. I don't know where they found these articles. They'd be on
Oh.
my bed, and they were always about like the odds of making it in Hollywood and how hard
Oh,
it is. And like I don't know where they found all these. I had to go, you know what? I get it. It's
we
hard.
know. We know.
I
Hmm.
don't want the articles anymore. It's not
Yeah.
helping
Hmm.
anything.
No.
Yes, it wasn't met with um, happiness and like good for you, but I think when they started to see me like in plays and stuff and they realized I'm like that I didn't suck, that I'm actually like they were like it was a little bit different. And my dad and I had like not a great relationship when I was growing up. We were so different. He was like this sports guy,
Mm.
and I was not. But he kind of like admired that I could do this because it was something he didn't understand, like how
Sure.
anybody could like get up in front of an audience and like talk. Like he
Hmm.
just it was like so it was a kind of like oh it was yeah it was kind of it made me happy that it made my dad kind of impressed.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Deep down,
Sorry, I
isn't
don't
that
know if
kind
that
of what
answers
we
your
all want?
question. I don't know if that
No,
answers your
it
question. I
No,
definitely
that
thought,
was great.
did.
okay,
Oh my
good.
gosh, it definitely did. Because I can relate in a little bit. Because when I moved out here, like, Lord, 10 plus years ago, to go to an acting school, and it was a, what are you doing? It was met by a lot
Yeah.
of, I kind of kept it to myself because I was like, okay, people aren't having like the reaction I really want
Yeah.
because it's
Right.
scary for them. They think you're about to just throw your life away,
Oh, I don't know if I had a kid, like I wouldn't want them to do this. I
right?
wouldn't stop. I would not want them. You want, well, I think as a parent, you like want the easiest life
Yeah.
for your kid. You don't
Hmm.
want different, and then, so yeah, you don't want your kid like going to auditions and being rejected and going
Oh,
through
yeah,
Hmm.
that
this
would be so
shit,
hard to
like,
watch.
Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I get it. And but you know, you, we have this like illness in us that has to do this.
Literally.
Like, yeah.
Sometimes you wish you didn't have it. Some There's are moments where you're
Uh,
like, couldn't I just have wanted to be a doctor? Like, didn't I want to do that? Maybe.
Yeah, in my school, I went to Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, and I was a mass communications major with a focus in TV radio, and they forced us to get a minor because basically they're like, you need something to fall back on if you're trying to get in this industry,
Wow.
wow.
That is crazy, actually.
right?
They're
That's brutal.
they're telling you,
Yeah.
hey, this you can absolutely study this, but we're pretty sure you won't make it.
Literally. So I have a business minor I've never used, but maybe one day
You never know.
it'll come back.
Yeah. You might be using it in ways you don't realize.
That's true. That's also
Like
true.
your business that you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, like, they were basically telling you the odds of you making this are not good.
They're
We're being
not great.
upfront.
Hmm.
Not good. You need something to fall back on. They're not. I remember when I was in grad school, because I went to grad school at UCLA, and my class, there was 10 of us in our class, and our teachers were like, there was one teacher who told us like, in 10 years, most of you won't be doing this anymore. And at the time, I was like, fuck you.
Like, screw
Like,
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, like, I mean, but it kind of like ended up being true. Like, of us, there was maybe, I think there's two of us still doing it. I think
Hmm.
they all, but at the time it felt like oh, that's such a failure. But now I don't look at it like, oh, like good for you.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
did something else with your life,
Yeah. You gave it a
you
try.
know, gave it a try, and you're not a failure. You did
No.
something,
No.
yeah, fascinating. Yeah.
So since you are one of the lucky ones from that little class and you made it out and you're still doing it, what were kind of the building blocks? Where did you start? Was it open calls? Was it just, did you get a manager, an agent? How did you kind of make your way into the industry?
Ooh, okay. So like I graduated UCLA in the 90s. And then what did I do? Like for a long time, I had a job at a hotel. Like I worked there for 7 years. And I would go out. There used to be this Dramalog. I don't know if you remember Dramalog. There used to be a thing called Dramalog, which was,
No.
and Backstage West. It became Backstage West, which was like you go to the newspaper stand and you get it
Okay.
every week. And they would have like auditions in there for plays and whatever, non-union union stuff. And I would audition for plays. And so sometimes I would get into plays in LA. But I wasn't, I think I had, this has been so long, but I had like really, I had an agent in the 90s that was not a good agent. And, and I would barely go out. But it wasn't until the like 96, 97, I started taking classes at the Groundlings
Oh
Theater.
yeah.
And do you guys know the Groundlings?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something I had always wanted to do because I knew the Groundlings and I knew that I loved improv, and I was such a huge fan as a kid of like the original Saturday Night Live, and like, and there was a show called SCTV, which was
Oh
Hmm.
actually a
yeah.
huge influence on me. Do you guys know? Yeah, so
Yeah.
that was like Martin Short and Catherine O'Hara and John Candy and Rick Moranis and Eugene Levy and so many people. And I wanted to do so like I went to the Groundlings and I auditioned to get into school and I took classes there, and then people get cut along the way, but I made it all the way through and I made it into the main company. And I think it's when I started when I made it in the main company is when I kind of started working a little bit.
Oh,
That's when I
okay.
started to get some jobs, is
Yeah.
when I started doing that. Um, yeah, that's kind of when that started happening.
Hmm.
Like people started seeing me there, and I got auditions for stuff, and then got it. I think the first movie I think I got in was like, oh, there's a Dana Carvey movie called Master of Disguise. Do you know
Yes,
this movie?
I
Stop. Do we
loved
know
that
this
movie.
movie? So good.
It's crazy. It was such a bomb.
I feel like there was just the perfect demographic for it, and we were
Hmm.
right there in
We were
that.
right there.
Yeah, no, people know this movie and they remember the commercial for it where he says like turtle, 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 or something
Yes,
like that.
My
first
cousins and
And
thing
I
that
used
comes
to
to my
just say
mind.
that. Yeah, we used to just say it to each other all the time.
yeah, so that was the first. I had like two lines in that movie, and I got to. So Dana Carvey goes in disguise as the title of the movie, and I'm one of his disguises. Like I had a line as a, and like the guy, and like my face gets ripped off, and it's Danny. So that was my first, and I got to go in and like get like the mask put on and have
Uh-huh.
to do that thing where they, which was really kind of terrifying because they put this thing on you and the guy goes, there's going to be about 10 seconds where you're not going to be able to breathe, where it
Oh,
covers your
good.
nostrils
Hmm.
while they're
Great.
putting the mask on.
Good to have a
And he goes,
warning.
right. And he goes, right. And he goes, so they have to put straws there. He goes, it's going to feel like you're drowning. He goes, don't
Oh,
panic because if you do, we'll have to start all over again. So I'm
uh,
like, okay, I got it. So it was true. It was like 10 seconds, like, which doesn't seem like a long time, but if you
But when
can't
you're
breathe for
drowning,
10,
that's a long
yeah, when you're
time.
when you're
drowning,
drowning, it's a
it's a
long
year.
time.
So I literally was like, don't panic, don't panic. And then it was fine. But I remember like, he was like, that was terrifying. But anyway, and it was also really surreal being on the set and showing up and seeing your face on a thing like you're
Hmm.
dead. It
That
gets
is weird.
really
Yeah.
weird. It's a very weird.
Hmm.
Um, but my other memory about Master of Disguise was, well, now everybody, when you have to do your actor reel and everyone can sort of edit it themselves, but you used to have to go to places to get your reel done. So I went to this place to get my reel done, and I had the scene for Master of Disguise on it. And
Mhm.
this guy was kind of a very kind of a dry guy. And when he saw the clip, he goes, it's weird because I showed that movie to my kid the other day, and he wants to see everything over and over again. And after we saw the movie, he's like, I don't need to see that ever again.
That's what we want to
Oh,
hear.
it's like
And
that's
I
a
went,
one
well,
and
thank
done for
you,
me.
thank you, yeah,
Thank you. Put it in the reel.
thank you. But it's in my reel. But I thought it was so funny that he felt like he needed to share that his
Hmm.
kid hated the movie.
That is
Yeah,
it was a choice of
Yeah,
him to,
you
yeah.
didn't need to know it.
I
You could
didn't
have gone
need
on. You could
to,
have just left without knowing that.
but it was really hilarious that he did. I was like, okay, I guess I get it. But
Yeah.
good for you. But I
Yeah.
love that you guys know it. I love that you know it, that it
Oh,
has sort
yeah.
Oh,
of a life of its own.
It
didn't he
really,
just
Yeah.
like
truly.
say like I'm going to be the master of disguise? I'm going to like didn't he just say that a lot? And the
Yeah.
turtle thing we just
That's
quoted
what
all
I
the time.
remember.
Hmm.
Master of the Sky Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was that's
Were you
but
even on set with Dana Carvey, or did you do your scene like completely separate?
no, I met him. I think my memory is I worked a couple days on that, but I didn't work. He was on the set because he literally had to step in when I stepped out. But there was one day that we were shooting. It was like I think it was like in some building downtown, and I was in a room. We were waiting in the same hall, like in the same room together. And I talked to him for a little bit. And I just remember he was so nice. Like he was just
Oh,
a
Hmm.
really nice guy. So, but no, but I never got to like act with him. But I
okay.
was on the same set with him. Yeah,
That's
he's
so
so
cool.
talented. I
Yeah.
think he's
Oh
like
my God.
one of like in the top 10 of like SNL
Oh,
people. Like
totally. He's a
he's
legend.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he definitely is. Um, I'd also love to take a minute to just ask you about playing Terrance on Gilmore Girls, if I can have just like a second.
Take longer,
Of course.
Grace. This is Grace's
It's
You
favorite
my
can take
show.
favorite
longer than a
show.
Grace watches it every night. Grace, you take more than a second.
I no, I love that show. And I, I remember your episodes so well. I think I actually just watched one the other night, just in my normal going through it. I just watch
For sure.
Gilmore every night. But
Good for you.
because you were in season 4, which is one of the best seasons. Like 3 and 4 are so good, in my
Oh,
opinion.
when they go to Yale. That's right. When they go to Yale.
Yes, when she goes to Yale, because you
Yeah,
were Paris's like life coach,
that's it. Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
How was it joining the show? Did you watch it before or no? You were just coming for those episodes.
I didn't watch some of it because I knew Melissa McCarthy, who was on the show. She's a groundling, and so I knew her for
Hmm.
years. And I remember we were in the Sunday company, which is the level before the main company together. And I remember when it like premiered, and it was like, oh, she's on like a TV show. So I watched it some episodes for her, but I hadn't. And then I met um Lauren Lauren
Lauren
why am I
Graham.
blanking on it?
Graham.
Yeah, Lauren Graham, sorry. Because she would they would come to the they would come and Alexis they would come to see the Groundling show sometimes
Mm.
because they were close to Melissa. So I had met them and so I mean barely. So I hadn't ever and so hadn't watched the show, but I remember I when I got the audition for Terrance, and it was at Warner Brothers, which you guys know, Warner Brothers,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and I love that. That's my favorite studio, by the way.
It's
I
such a
love that a
great
It's the
lot.
lot.
best.
It's
Yeah,
the
We're all
best.
biased, but it's the best.
honestly.
No, it's the best. It's the best, and I always feel like I don't know why feels like it has such good energy, and I always feel like I had good luck there. But I remember going to the Gilmore Girls audition, and I was like really nervous, and I went in the room, and it was like the producers, and I just kind of did it, and they laughed, and then I left, and then when I found out I got it, then the casting my agent said, okay, so casting has one note. They said they were like, don't don't go too big. Like, don't go too big. It's very subtle. Like, they were worried that I was going to go too big with it. Like, I'll go small. So that was my whole time when I was on set. Like, don't go too big. Don't go too big.
Hmm.
Don't go
Uh-huh.
too big. But I hadn't like watched the show enough to know like Paris's story. And
Mm.
then when I got on it, I started to try to catch up. This is like pre-streaming where you could
Yeah,
just
you kind of just jump on
watch
Netflix.
whatever.
Yeah.
Right. But I do remember everyone was really nice. And I mean, I spent most of the time with the actress who played Paris, and she was lovely. And that show was so like, you couldn't change a word of dialogue. It was so dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. And they would be there to tell you, like, it's a the, not an a, like if
Mm.
you said a word wrong. So you like had to get it like word
Word for
perfect.
word.
Yeah, but it was fun, and it also is so interesting because we're mentioning streaming, but like when the pandemic happened, like my friends' kids like found out about Gilmore Girls, and all of a sudden when they saw me on it, and it was like this is like the 2000s, like all of a sudden I became cool to them. But
Mhm.
I was like, but it's weird that it's cool. It's awesome that people like rediscover stuff now,
Yeah.
like that
Mhm.
people know about Gilmore Girls, or they're like, oh, you were Terrance on the Gilmore Girls. I'm like, how did you even know that? This is so
Yeah.
long ago, and it was 2 episodes, but yeah, it's cool that
Oh,
people
they totally stand out
discover that.
though. Because I mean, Paris Geller, what a character.
Yeah,
I know iconic is a word that's overused, but she really is. And the dialogue that you mentioned, I was going to ask about because Amy Sherman Palladino is such amazing dialogue and the pace is so
yeah,
quick. Like I remember watching it growing up, and my dad still to this day just calls it the talking show because
yeah.
they just
Just
go and
kept
go and
talking.
go. But I loved when like your character was so funny and Paris so desperately needed you, like her character. Because even when I think there's a part where either Rory or maybe it's Lorelai, they leave the room and they say something, and Terrance is like, "Honey, that was a little passive aggressive. We should talk later." Like it
He
was
really was
so
not good.
perfectly fit.
He was not good at what he did. Like, he was a sham.
Like you just gave Paris like crafts, and like a glue gun. Like she always just was gluing
Oh
things.
my
That was like
God.
what Terrance did for her.
Yeah. And she paid him.
What a
Yeah,
A
job.
dream
What a
job.
dream job.
I know. Can you imagine having that job where someone just pays you to like to do
Yeah.
Just to like arts and crafts, yeah. And just
arts and
Sounds kind of nice.
yeah. No, it does.
Yeah, but it was a really fun show. I mean, yes, it's very rat-a-tat-tat-tat. Like it
Oh
was
my
very
gosh.
quick dialogue and like they worked so fast. And like I do remember the second episode I was able to read. There was, I think it's weird what's coming back, but I remember Alexis Rory is her name, right?
Yeah.
But she has like she's giving a tour, I think, of the campus, and then it was a read through, and it was basically that was a full page and a half, and she was just reading it. And I remember she turned the page, and then she saw she had another half of a page, and then she just went, "Oh, come on, guys!" Like you didn't have to
like,
memorize all of this, like, but they just did it. It was
yeah.
incredible. They were
Yeah.
so good at that.
And by season 4, I'm sure it was just like a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah.
Had to
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Totally fun. I love that you
So
love the
fun.
show.
Oh my God, I love it.
Grace got me, and I was one of those that during COVID
Yeah,
watched it for
David
the
kind
first
of
time
discovered
'cause
it.
Grace talked about it. I mean, I think since the day we met, because we were giving tours of the Gilmore Girls set. Grace just
Oh
loved
yeah.
it so much. So I was like, all
Yeah.
right, I have the time. I'm going to watch it. And I think I watched all 7 seasons in like a short amount of time.
Yeah, they still have that like gazebo out, don't they, at Warner Brothers?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like
Or at least they did
Gilmore
when we were
Girls.
there. Yeah.
They did when we were there, yeah.
Oh, that would be
They would
awful if they
like
got rid of
they
that.
would bring it in and out. I remember like if it wasn't set up, if there was a show doing something that they didn't need the gazebo. Do you remember this, Grace? There was like a spot and it was called gazebo parking that they would,
It would
basically just like pick it up and move it.
Yeah. Like on I guess like a crane. They
I
would just
guess
move
so.
it over.
Yeah.
Movie
Or
magic.
the magic of Hollywood.
Literally.
The magic of Hollywood. Yeah,
Sometimes on tour, I'd be like, I don't know if I'm ruining it for these people or if they're enjoying this.
I know. I think they mostly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Can you
think
imagine somebody
so.
going on the tour and they're like, "Oh, I wish I didn't do that."
Right.
When I was a kid, because I grew up out here, I mean, I loved going on those Universal Studios tours. I
Yes.
loved those.
Oh, they're so
Oh my
fun.
God. They were so much fun. I haven't been on one of those in a long time. I remember when they got Jaws, when they got the shark, they added that to it. I'm like,
Ugh.
oh, I loved it.
I can't even like imagine the tour without that. It's so weird to
I
think
know.
about.
It's such a big part.
I know. I wonder if do they still have that flash flood thing?
Yeah.
Do you remember when
Last time I was there, they had it.
Yeah.
it was always broken? Like you'd go there and the flash flood
Oh.
wasn't working. Like, oh, I wanted the flash flood to happen.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on. Sorry, it's not working today.
You're like, okay, I was here last week and it still wasn't working.
Yeah.
I'll also never forget when they stopped taking you down Wisteria Lane because I used to love that part where you would get to see it, and now they just drive you right past it, and
Right
you
by
like
it.
just get to peek in a little
Look
bit.
down.
Oh, you just reminded me of something.
Okay.
That was really cool. So I had done, speaking of Wisteria Lane, I was on 3 episodes of Desperate Housewives.
Uh-huh.
So I remember one time sitting in the trailer for it and hearing the tour go by and thinking, oh my God, I remember being on the tour as a kid and like wanting to like act, and like here I am acting on something. I don't know. That's all. I just
That's
remember
such a
that
cool
is a
thing.
cool
memory.
moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a cool moment. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it was cool.
Was Desperate Housewives at all similar to Gilmore Girls? How about like the dialogue at least? Like would they let you
Ooh.
improvise a little bit more?
No, I didn't. I don't. It wasn't as like stickler-ish with the. It's not an A, but I don't remember being allowed to like improvise or anything.
Mhm.
And I was in I did a couple episodes of season 2. It's that was the bad season. I think that was the season 1 was like it was such an, and then people got mad at season 2 because the 4 women all of a sudden like started having storylines that weren't together, and they were like people were getting mad, and like I was, oh, here comes the fire truck. But there was I was in this storyline with Felicity Huffman where she got a job. So like that was the one I loved the most. Was like
Oh,
I'm so glad
sure.
to like
Oh yeah.
she was awesome. And yeah, no, it was super cool. But I it was a lot of there was one day I remember there was a lot of dialogue I just happened to have and I had it memorized and I was driving to the set and then I got there and then they said there's been a rewrite. The whole scene was rewritten and then I had all this new dialogue and I was like so like nervous and like it was all like expository sort of dialogue that was like it just wasn't fun to say, but it
Oh.
was something had happened where I'm like they rewrote the whole scene. I'm like, oh my
Oh my
God. And then, but
God.
I did it. But I remember watching it when I got on TV and all I was doing was thinking what was going on in my head is so different than what I'm saying. Because I
Hmm.
was just like, what's my next line? What's my next line?
Yeah.
What's my next? And that's all I was thinking, but you can't tell that on TV.
Oh
And it
yeah.
probably happens a lot. Where
Oh, I would
we're watching an
imagine.
actor and they're
Freaking
not
out on the
thinking what we're
inside.
thinking, they're thinking.
And that's where I'm
Yeah,
sure improv training
yeah.
helps a lot
Oh,
because
that's
you can
true.
work on your feet.
No, it does. Well, in the sense that like it's not like I could have changed the dialogue, but what I did, one of the great things I learned from the Groundlings and doing improv is that you'll be fine in any situation. Like
Mm,
nothing is so like everything's going to be fine. Like
Hmm.
you can improvise your way out of it if you needed to. You'll find your way back. You know, the Groundlings was great because how fast we had to work there when you would do like you're in previews and you would have to like memorize like 20 sketches and you would and yet you just got the night before and you're rewriting it and you are the show's about to start and there's an audience out there and you're like, I don't know if I know all my lines.
Yeah.
And then you just get out there and you're like, oh, we're fine. Like we're gonna figure this out. Like
hmm.
somehow if we get off track, we'll get back on track. It's a
Hmm.
good lesson to learn.
Oh,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
And speaking of groundlings, my husband and I are loving, I don't know if it has a name, this series online with chits, because I saw that you were in, Mitch. It is so
Oh yeah.
hysterical.
It,
Like literally
oh, it,
what's going on, nobody knows. Chit needs a lot of help.
yeah, you not
It,
well, Jay Renshaw who plays Chit.
who's
It's so
yeah.
like funny because they just Kyle Kennedy, who's a groundling, who was like directing the whole thing. He was just making different videos, and for some reason, Chit. Well, I mean, it's hilarious, but like it just took off. Like
Hmm.
it took off, and Chit is such an interesting character because you're kind of not sure if he's doing anything on purpose, if he's kind of being a dick or if
Hmm.
he's really kind of sweet. You
I
can't
know. You
tell.
can't
You can't tell if he's
tell.
bad or a good guy. It's
It's
great.
like your character, anybody who comes through the door back into Chit's little office area, you can see that on your face. You can see that on their face that they're like,
Yeah.
he's not working, but we also don't know that we can fire him because maybe he's trying to work. Like
Right.
there's
And
that
he
whole like,
seems sweet. And also,
yeah.
it's unclear how old he is because
Hmm.
sometimes he seems
Yeah,
like
what
he's
does
like
everybody know about Chit?
60. Yeah. Is he 20 or 60? Like, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's a great character. It's
Oh, it's
very fun.
hysterical. And you were great
Yeah.
in it, just the perfect
Oh,
dry. Like you leave the room and Chit's like, what did he want again? Like, did he, what was he doing in here? Like, it's like, I don't
yeah.
even think Chit knew.
I was so bummed because Jay texted me like a week or so ago, and he was like, "Are you free on Sunday or Monday to do another chit?" And I'm like, and I was well, full disclosure, so I was going to the Backstreet Boys with my
Ah,
boyfriend
Oh
at the
my
Sphere, so I
gosh.
was like, I can't. I'm so sorry, but I'm like, ask me to do another one. I love doing the chit videos. They're
Oh,
yeah.
fun.
they're so funny. It's
Yeah.
such a great concept. I feel like it's endless.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
whole show now.
Yeah. That's why I didn't know if it had a name. I kept like my husband and I love them and we've seen every one, but I was like, wait, is it called? But it sounds like Kyle just did it to put something online and it took off. So now it's like a little mini series almost.
Yeah, and it's actually in a weird way, it's really interesting because like whatever's happening in the industry right now, which is weird. Like
Hmm.
it feels like all this dust is in the air, and like, what are we?
Yeah.
but like
Hmm.
it feels like I don't know, like is this now what shows are? Like is this a
Hmm.
series?
Is this, yeah.
It's not
Is
on
this,
TV. Is this because people are watching it and they're invested and he's got a huge following. He's got articles that have been written about
Yeah.
it. It's insane. I mean, it's
yeah.
great. It's awesome that he didn't
Hmm.
have to wait to and I don't know because I haven't spoken to him about it, but like I'm sure he's being approached by people to develop something with this, but
I'd
like
imagine.
I don't know if
I
maybe
know.
doing it this way is actually more beneficial,
Yeah.
financially too. I don't know.
You have full control over it.
Yeah.
Full control.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I am intrigued. I would want to see what Chit's up to outside of the office because he's very oddly compelling.
Yeah, they did do one where I think they did one where he was at the gym. So we did see him out of the office.
Oh, right,
And
right,
he was
right.
like, he's remarkably agile.
Hmm.
Like, it doesn't make
It brings
sense.
back to you saying his age. He's
Yeah,
ripped. He looks
he's
fantastic.
he's ripped. Yeah, it's great. It's also like, yeah, it's great. The chit thing's great. That's all I'll say about
We're
it.
loving it.
Yeah.
We have done so many guest stars and so many shows that we love. One of those being the Friends spinoff, Joey. Were you a Friends fan before you were appeared in
Oh,
that show?
sure. I
Uh,
think I'm like,
it was a
I
given
loved,
question.
yeah, everybody loved, yeah, it's sort of like, but yeah, I loved Friends. And, I mean, yeah, like Joey, poor Joey, they really tried. So I mean, it was like but I think when I auditioned for it, because I never had an audition for Friends, so I was like, I got to go in for Joey, and it hadn't aired yet, so there was all this kind of like buzz and hope for it, and it was
Yeah.
kind of an earlier episode, and I went in, and I was so excited that I got it, and probably at that time, it was like the best guest star I had ever had, and it was like one scene, but it was like a 4-page scene with just me and Matt LeBlanc.
Hmm.
And so, and it was really funny and it was a well-written scene. And the episode was directed by David Schwimmer. Everything felt
Wow.
overwhelming. Like I met,
Oh
like
yeah.
in one day, met two of the six
Yeah.
friends, like meeting a couple of the Beatles. Like it
Yeah,
felt
Hmm.
like
honest, especially then. I mean,
At that
yeah.
time.
absolutely. And like, uh and Ben Falcone, who's Melissa McCarthy's husband, was on that episode, and he was a friend of mine uh from the Groundlings, and so it was fun to have him there. And then Jennifer Coolidge was on the show too because she played his agent, and she happened to be in that episode, and he's also a Groundlings alum, so it was like,
That's so
and
cool.
yeah, so it was like it felt nice, but it was I just remember it was a really fun experience. I feel like everything I'm saying is really fun, but it was
I
a
mean,
really
that's
fun.
nice. It's nice for us to hear that these are all good
Yeah.
Yeah,
experiences.
that was really, I had a great experience on that show. Um and Matt LeBlanc was super charming and very nice, and like, and I was like so nervous, always nervous, but like it's a
Same.
theme of my life. So yeah, why not? So why be confident? But
Who needs it?
who needs it? It's overrated. So it's not human. So anyway,
Yeah.
so I just they were trying to come up with an ending of the scene. Like something wasn't, the ending of the scene wasn't quite working, or and it was the day we were shooting it in front of the audience, and they say this, say that. And then I just remember Matt LeBlanc turning to me and go, well, Mitch, you have any ideas? And I was like, and
You
I
said
think I
my
pitched
name.
some,
What?
yeah, no, I mean, but I was like, oh, you want my uncle to also pay me as a writer? But
Yeah.
no,
Hmm.
no,
Yeah,
but
let's get
no,
into that.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's go. No, but I pitched an idea, and he's like, oh, let's try it. It wasn't what ended up on the show,
Hmm.
but yeah, it was a
Such a cool
fun,
moment though.
Yeah, that's cool that they even like asked you.
Yeah.
so cool. But it was fun. It was a fun, and there was a writer on the show named John Quaintance, who, because of that, I became friends with, and he's written stuff that he's put me in, and I'm friends with his wife. So like that's how I met him, and yeah, like I did an episode of Will and Grace that he wrote, and it's because of him I did it. So that was
Yeah, you make connections.
make connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And another one that we also love was iCarly. And just our
Oh,
listeners love
Yeah.
iCarly. So we're hoping this is also a good experience.
it was what a monster she was. No, it was great.
Ooh,
No.
plot twist.
No, it was. I hadn't. I mean, because I was too old for the show, so I had never. I don't remember if I'd watched an episode, but I
Yeah.
did
Which is fair.
know. Which
Yeah.
is well, it was. I did know Jerry Trainer, who played her brother on the show, because he would come and like sometimes be a guest in the Groundling show. So I met him. Also incredibly nice guy, like so funny, and then just down to earth nice guy.
Mhm.
And I had when I got the audition for iCarly, I think I had auditioned a couple times. A friend of mine, Jeremy, who recurred on iCarly as there was a character. Oh God, I don't remember his character name. They put a mole on his face, Egbert or
Um,
something like that. It was
Lubert.
Lubert.
Lubert, not Egbert.
Yes.
You got the Burt
You were
part right.
close.
I got the G Bert part. So
Hmm.
he played, but he told me and a couple other people, like, because these like Nickelodeon Disney shows, there were a lot happening then.
Hmm.
And he said, he started booking a lot of them. And he goes, here's my advice: scream every line, like yell every line. He goes, well, I started doing that and booking because it was the only time you would go into an audition. Because usually people would say, can you do less or smaller? Where they would tell you, you can't go big enough.
Do
You
more.
can't
Mm.
go big enough. So I think I yelled my lines, but I did. But I got on the show, and I do remember that. I had a line. Literally, one of my lines was like, "What?" And they asked me, they're like, "Can you go bigger on that?" And I was like, I think by the time I was done, it was like, "What?" Like it was so big.
You like can't
Um,
speak anymore. You've lost your
you
voice.
screaming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was yeah, I think I had like two scenes in that episode. But the funny thing is, it was the type of thing I did, and it was a good experience, but I just never thought about it again. And then years later, it's been years later when I guess because I could go back to when I was a kid and the shows I watched when I was a kid. Like I watched every episode of the Brady Bunch, like in reruns. Like I knew
Oh.
every episode,
Hmm.
so much so that when it started, I could tell you in the first scene the A plot, the B plot, and the C plot of the episode. I knew it. And if there was a guest star that had been on one episode and I had bumped into them years later, I'm like, oh my God, you played this person. So it was surprising that years later, like one time I was in a thrift store when I was first started dating my boyfriend
Hmm.
in the valley, and adults, like in their 20s, came up to me. This guy came up to me, he was working there, and he said, excuse me, were you on an episode of iCarly? And I went, yeah. He goes, my friend working here thought she recognized you, and she's too nervous to say anything.
Aw.
Like,
Oh.
oh, like come on, this is an adult. And I'm like, yeah, I was. How did you remember this? She's like, I watched everyone when I was a kid, and that was kind of honestly the sweetest thing about iCarly was there was another time where I was in a Ralph's, and this little kid, this little boy with his sister, the
Mhm.
sister came up and said, "Excuse me, were you on iCarly?" Because my brother, this little kid he just wouldn't look. And
Mhm.
I go, yeah. And he goes, he watched it. And I said, oh, hey, what's your name? And then he just went on to say, tell me what I did in the show. He said, you bought a sculpture and it was a Labradoodle sculpture. And you said this and he told me the whole scene. And he said what everybody said. He just had to tell me
Oh.
That's
and I
so
went,
cute.
so cute. And I went, yeah, it's exactly what happened. Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
it's so nice to meet you. And I mean, it was so sweet. That was
Aw.
the best part of like doing an episode of iCarly was like, a kid would recognize me from that,
Yeah.
or like years later, now full on adults are like I saw you on
Yeah.
iCarly, which to me was like, oh my God, that's like I hadn't thought about it since I
Hmm.
did it, and but it's yeah, it's impactful what you watch as a kid. I mean, it's
Yeah.
your whole podcast, but like it really is like you can watch stuff if you loved it as a kid. It has you'll it's there's such a fondness even if it's terrible, like you can admit like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like if I saw this as an adult, like there's people who have watched things as an adult that a kid that I now watch now, I'm like, it's pretty awful, but
Mhm.
they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, but I love it because you saw it as a kid
It's
and you
so
loved it.
true.
So true.
Oh yeah, you watched things through a different lens as a
Absolutely.
kid, and it made a such a different impact on you, like exactly like you're describing. It just brings up these memories, this that childlike joy, and you
Uh-huh.
just remember, especially being a kid, watching someone on TV,
Yeah.
superstars, no matter
Yeah.
what role you were, no matter what
Right.
part you played, you were just everything and more
Mhm.
watching
Right.
things as a kid.
Yeah. And you also sometimes you also have to go, I understand you're showing this to somebody for the first time who had never seen it. Like, yeah, no, I get it. It's not good.
It was a
Mhm.
Like
different time. You had
Teen
to be
Witch,
there.
Teen Witch is terrible. It's a terrible movie. But
But
if
if you
you
grew
saw
up
it as
with
a
it,
kid, it's like people who grew up with Grease too. Like it's
Yeah.
terrible. The songs are terrible, except for one song. But like if you
Grease
saw it at the
too.
right time, you will defend it and go, it's better than Grease.
oh, this is the story of Grace and I's lives because Grace's husband and my boyfriend did not watch
Couldn't
any
they?
of the same things that we watched growing
No.
up. And it's
Yeah.
constantly us being like, all right, let's watch this Disney Channel original movie, and then them
Hmm.
not being into
They
it.
just they just don't they have no connection to it.
No.
No.
No, I've shown stuff to my boyfriend who's been, it's the same thing. I'm like, how do you not like
Yeah,
this?
it's
This
like
is
we
so
get
great.
offended.
Like
Yeah.
it's yeah,
It
yeah,
does. It does offend
yeah.
you.
I'm
Yeah.
totally offended. Don't you love me? If you don't like this, then I guess you don't know me. And what are we
Yeah.
doing together?
Hmm.
What's the whole point?
Oh, it's
What's the
tricky.
point of us?
Oh yeah. David and I will text each other and we're like, I have to get a divorce. He's like, I have
Yeah.
to break up. It's just it can't go on.
Yeah.
No, but there's like certain like the whole Grease 2 thing, or Back to the Future 1, Back to the Future 2.
Hmm.
Like it
Mhm.
depends on when you saw it.
That's
Uh,
true.
Totally.
like for me, it's like there was a movie in the 70s called Murder by Death, and then Clue came out in the 80s, and they're so similar, but I love Murder by Death more. And like
Okay.
Clue's not as good. I still love Clue, but I
Hmm.
like Murder.
Hmm.
And so, but people who saw Clue first are like, Murder by Death sucks. Like,
Oh
no, it
yeah.
doesn't.
Yeah.
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 I feel like that sometimes happens with Home Alone and Home Alone 2
Oh,
because
Mhm.
really?
they're both great, but people tend to like the second
I
one
like the second
better.
one better. Yeah.
But the first one's the origin. I have heard debates around Christmas time as to which one is the best.
I have never seen Home Alone 2. Is that, and I
Oh,
love,
Mitch, you've got to
you're
is that the
watch
one
it.
where they
Mitch.
go to New York? Is
Yeah.
that New York?
Yes.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
one with Trump's in it,
I
right?
was just
Yeah, for
about
like
to
a
say,
Yeah.
second.
we're going to give
Yeah.
you a
Yeah.
warning that he's there for a second, but just
Yeah.
grab a snack at that part and then
Yeah.
come back.
Great.
Yeah.
It's short and sweet.
Let me know the exact time code
Yeah,
Hmm.
the
so I can go
exact
get a snack.
second.
We'll let you know.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Um, now, obviously, our podcast is all about the 90s and the 2000s, but Grace and I often make exceptions for really iconic movies and shows like
Hmm.
Bridesmaids. We cannot
Oh,
leave here without talking about your plane scene from Bridesmaids.
you
It's
know.
Stove.
speaking of iconic things, it's so iconic.
Well, thank you. What if this is the one where I'm like, I have so much shit to talk
So
about
much
this movie?
shit.
You know
It
what? We
was
No.
the
say tell
worst of
us.
them all.
Yeah. Uh, no, it was, look, it was, well, thank you, first of all. That was pure joy. And the most like, it's never going to happen again because it was an experience. It was like I mean, it's weird. I was going to say it's like all of a sudden flying first class. Now everything feels like coach, but like
Hmm.
it was like Kristen Wiig was somebody. I knew her from the Groundlings. We were students. We kind of came up together. I was a little ahead of her.
Mhm.
I remember when she got in the main company. We'd been friends for years, and I remember when she got Saturday Night Live, and then watching her kind of just take off. And then this movie happened, and they were casting it, and everybody was going in for it. Like everyone's like, "Did you get your brides?" Like everyone at the Groundlings was going in. Like,
Oh.
and I didn't have an audition. I'm like, I haven't had an audition for Bridesmaids yet.
Hmm.
And then I got the audition for the flight attendant, and I'm like, oh, cool. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do good job on it. And like a day or so before the actual audition, my agent called me up and she goes, "Oh, I have some bad news. They canceled your audition. They're offering it to somebody." And I went, "Oh, oh, that's a bummer." I go, "Well, hopefully it was cool that I got the audition for it. Hopefully they'll think of me for something else." And while I was talking, she went, "Wait, no, wait, I misread the email. No, no, they're offering you the part." And I went, "What?"
Without an audition?
Yeah, I'd never been offered anything at that point. Like I'd never I got offered the part. And so yeah, you got offered the part. I'm like, okay, I found out. So obviously Kristen wanted me for the part, but
Hmm.
Paul Feig, who directed the movie, and Judd Apatow was one of the producers, knew of me because I mean we're talking about Chit's viral video, but like in the 2000s, I was in like one of the first viral videos on YouTube, these David Blaine parodies that like
Right.
Mikey Day and
Yeah.
like Michael Naughton. And so at the
I
time
loved
was the
those.
shit. So like, thank you. But it was like, so they knew of those videos. And I guess
Hmm.
Paul Feig had been a fan of it for a long time. And so they were like, yeah, just give him the part. He doesn't have to audition. And I'm like,
Wow.
so I got this part that I had not like. It was my first time being on the other side of that because there's been so many times I auditioned and they're like, there's an offer out, but I'm like, okay, now I'm the cool guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it was 3 days of working, got there and felt kind of more once again nervous because now I'm like, well, now I have to prove that I was good, that they made the right
Worth
choice.
it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I was there. It was the set was an actual airplane that had been dismantled. That it like I think it was like in Silicon Valley or somewhere near Simi Valley where they shot it. And I found out when I got there that it was the same plane, by the way, that they shot Airplane. It was the same,
Oh,
the
wow.
same.
Oh,
So I
cool.
remember telling Kristen, "Well, this movie's going to be like, classic too," not knowing that it
Yeah.
actually. So, but being on the set and seeing like Kristen and Melissa McCarthy and Ben Falcone, all these people were in the plane, and Wendy McClendon Covey and Annie Mumolo, who co-wrote the movie, and she was also like the pregnant woman on the plane. And my friend Kent was like one of the writers, like alt writers, and just like all these ground and Maya Rudolph, who was a groundling. It felt like a groundling sketch. It felt like we were at the groundlings and it was just a sketch that was written by Kristen and Annie but someone happened to just give us a big budget for it. And
Hmm.
and it was also like we would do these takes where it was the first take we would do scripted, and then the second take we were kind of like we'd had to stick to the story, but we were kind of could just say whatever.
Uh,
It was so much. I mean, most of what got in, I think, was scripted. Like the
uh-huh.
stove stuff, Steve Stove, that was in the script because I remember reading it and going, "Oh my God, that's so funny and stupid that she mistakes my name, Steve, for Stove."
Uh-huh.
Um,
And she's just
but
like, you're a flight attendant. And you're like,
yeah,
okay. Yeah. Yep.
yeah, it's absolutely accurate. Uh, but yeah, it was just so much fun. And like Paul Feig is the nicest
Mm.
gentleman. Like, and I've worked for him, like, he's put me in 3 movies and he's just the nicest guy. Like,
Ugh.
Mm,
such a gentleman. He literally wears suits on set, like old time,
Okay.
like dandy, like a farm.
yeah.
Like, he wears suits, like, as he directs. Like, who does that?
Yeah. Really,
Like,
anymore? Who does
who
that?
does
Uh-huh.
that? He's
We
from
can,
like
none
another
of us can be
era.
bothered.
Mm-mm.
No. Can you imagine, David? Can you imagine that men at some point, not that long ago, just wore suits
Sounds
all the
awful.
time.
I'd be sweating all the
Awful.
time.
In the summer, you had your summer suit.
It sounds terrible.
No, now we dress like what children.
I'm wearing a Disneyland
Mhm.
shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, but adults didn't wear t-shirts
Yeah, that's
until
Oh,
like
no.
wild.
the 50s because like Brando made it cool. But like
Thank
people didn't wear,
God.
this is how kids dressed. And now we're like, anyway, can you imagine
No,
No.
I
how
would.
women used to dress? Like
Oh, God.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't have done
exhausting.
it.
No.
I couldn't have
Exhausting.
done it in a lot of different time periods. Like, I love Bridgerton, but forget it. I
Yeah.
don't
Bridge.
ever want to be in that
We were
Oh
garb.
born in the
God.
right time.
Can you
Hmm.
imagine like during the French like pre-revolution, it was like Louis the 14th, like the
Oh.
wigs and like
Oh,
and I mean they were dying of the makeup that they put on their face. It
Hmm.
would suffocate their skins and like
yeah.
everybody smelled.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, there's,
awful.
yeah.
That's all. Can I
Awful.
just say when I watch movies that are like period pieces, like sometimes and they're like even like Bridgerton and like they're all hot. They're in the back of my mind. It's like I think they all smell.
Oh
That's so
my God, so
smelly. Yeah.
bad.
They didn't bathe.
Yeah.
They just
No,
collectively smelled, so they had to have gotten used to it,
I
like build up a
guess so.
tolerance because
Yeah,
it
they
was
just
just
it didn't
stinky.
smell to them. No, it
No,
had
they
no
No.
all
perfume.
stunk.
It's all they knew
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
it's all they
stinking.
do. Stinking. Anyway, they accepted it. Uh, anyway,
I
bridesmaids.
know. Where do
No,
we?
Oh
nobody
yeah.
stunk on. Nobody smelled.
Yeah, I was gonna say who
Thank
smelled the
God.
best.
Thank
Oh, they
God.
all collectively smelled great.
Hmm.
It was just fun. It was so much fun, and it was yeah, and great experience. And I remember going to the premiere of that. Like that was the first time I went to a Hollywood premiere, and
Mm.
like I brought my mom because I'm like, oh, I knew she'd be excited about it, and I was like sitting in the same row. She's like John Hamm. I'm like, where the fuck am I?
What's
And,
happening?
but I remember watching the movie and like being like lost in the movie, and I hate watching myself and like going, oh, this is so much fun, and then realizing, oh, they're about to get on the airplane. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Here I
And
come.
and I felt my first time watching me, I was like, oh my God, I'm terrible. Like I felt like,
What?
no, I'm not kidding. This is my
No,
reaction most of the time when I watch myself.
No.
I'm
Mitch,
awful. This is
no.
terrible. Ooh, Christian only put me in the movie. This is all going to put me in the movie because we're friends. I guess I can be a writer now. All this is going on in my head.
Oh,
And
Oh.
it was when someone came up to me and like were like, you were so good in it. I thought they were just being kind. But like it takes me usually about three times watching myself before I'm like actually watching what I'm doing. Because the first time
Mm.
I'm like, oh God, I have baggy eyes and like I look
you
tired and
just
like
pick yourself
Everyone is
apart. You're
their own
human.
worst
Yeah.
the
critic.
worst. I
Yeah.
remember reading Bette Midler saying she would just there was some movie that in the 80s where she watched the it was something huge hit. I can't remember when she just started crying.
Mm.
Like she's like I'm terrible. I look awful, and
Ugh.
she was like amazing in it.
Yeah.
Everyone does it.
Everyone does
Everyone
it.
does it. That was just a much bigger scale that you were on.
Yeah.
Like a big movie.
Now it's probably the scene that is the most memorable of that whole movie.
Oh,
Well,
there's
it's
not
also
a
like
doubt.
and it's been so long that when I see it now, it's like I'm watching a different person. I'm like, oh,
Like you're
that guy's
watching
good.
a
Like,
home
oh, I did a
video.
good job. Yeah, it's a home video.
Oh. Oh,
You
it
know what I
is
do
so
wish?
standout.
I do wish at the time I had because I never went into like a movie theater and watched it, and it became
Mm.
such a hit. I wish I'd gone in like a movie theater, like a regular just regular audience, and like watched them, like and just that would have been cool. A
Yeah.
year ago, they played it at the Cemetery movie, the Cinespia
Oh
one,
yeah.
and I went to it, and that was fucking amazing
Oh,
to
I
do it.
bet.
Just to see people react to it, and like they made an
Probably quote the
announcement.
lines.
Yeah, or like know who I am. I mean,
Mm.
please, it's so good for my ego.
Oh
But
yeah.
like,
Mitch is
like,
just handing out headshots left and right at the cemetery.
does anybody need a picture? Uh, but it was like they made an announcement at the beginning. In full disclosure, I was very high, but they made an announcement at the beginning, and the guy who comes out. Have you been to the Cinespia movies?
I never have.
Not
They,
yet. We have to
it's
go.
great. So they make an announcement, and there's like thousands of people there. The guy who runs it goes, "We have someone from the movies here," and they announced I was there, and my boyfriend and my friends were like, "Stand up," because people cheered, and I'm like, it all happened so fast, and I stood up, and thousands of people like cheer. It felt like, oh my God, this is like I'm a rock star for
That's so
1 second. It
Oh,
happened so fast, and nobody recorded it. I wish we had
cool.
recorded it. And I
dang.
sat
No one
back
was
down. I'm
ready.
like, yeah, no, but it was such a cool moment. Like, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, I'm very proud of being part of that movie. It's
You
very
should
cool.
be. And I
Yeah.
hope
Yeah.
that those reactions help a little bit because you were fantastic. Truly. It
Thank
is
you.
such an amazing part of that movie. Everybody still quotes it. And
Thank you.
just maybe watch it with a few other people and it'll just keep
Yeah.
growing on you.
Yeah.
It'll just keep growing.
Yeah, great advice. You
And
can
that's what
be,
we're here for.
you know what? Full circle, you're my life coach.
Oh,
Hey. Oh, Grace, are
I'm
you okay?
Teresa.
Oh, there you
I'm
go, Terrence.
Teresa.
That's perfect. Terrence, Teresa.
Terrance and
Made
Teresa.
my
There
day.
you
I'll
go.
be
There you go.
Teresa. I don't know what crafts I'm gonna have to find for you, but I'll figure it out.
Mhm.
I'll whip
Absolutely
some up,
perfect.
some hot glue guns, and we'll just chat.
Yeah.
It
I
was
love a
kind of what
project.
Terrance just argued with Paris and then gave her some projects.
And told her people were being passive aggressive when they weren't.
Terrance was also giving like unsolicited advice to other people, and they're like, I don't want a life coach. I think I'm okay.
What a
Okay, never
terrible
mind.
life.
But a very funny role.
Yeah, really
So it
fun.
worked. It worked.
I wish that when they were doing they had that reboot. Didn't they have a reboot like
Yes, the
Yeah,
recently?
they
four
had a year in the
episode.
life. Yeah.
Oh, I wish they brought back Terrence. Maybe
I know.
start a campaign.
Hmm.
We will.
Yeah, if it comes
Thank
back again, you have to be there.
You
Yeah.
have to.
Or like what they do with Wednesday, like an origin story from some minor character.
That would actually be really
Terrance.
good.
It's just
About
called
Terrence.
Terrance.
Terrence, like
Uh-huh.
Nurse Ratchet or something like that.
Yeah.
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 All
I'm
right.
in.
To
That's
all the
great.
So
Netflix
in.
executives listening right now,
This is to
All of
you.
them.
All
Thank
all
of
of
you.
them.
them.
Thank you.
All of them.
Well, Mitch, thank you so
Yeah,
much again
My
we've
for
taken
taking
so
pleasure.
your
much of your
time.
time. Thank you
My
so
pleasure.
much.
I love doing it, and thank you for having me.